Some shows don't need a celebrity narrator to introduce the show, but this show does. In a world filled with endless opportunities, why would two men who have built 13 multi-million-dollar businesses altruistically invest 5 hours per day to teach you the best practice business systems and moves that you can use? Because they believe in you, and they have a lot of time on their hands. They started from the bottom, now they're here. It's the Thrivetime show starring the former U.S. Small Business Administration's Entrepreneur of the Year, Clay Clark, and the entrepreneur trapped inside an optometrist's body, Dr. Robert Zoellner. 2 men, 8 kids, co-created by 2 different women, 13 multi-million-dollar businesses.
We started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, now we're here.
Started from the bottom, now we're at the top, teaching you the systems to get what we got. Colton Dixon's on the hooks, I break down the books. Z's bringing some wisdom and the good looks. As the father of 5, that's why I'm alive. So if you see my wife and kids, please tell them hi. It's the CNC up on your radio, and now 3, 2, 1, here we go.
We started from the bottom, now we're here.
Doing the bullpens, feeling the floor, working.
Yes, and yes. We are in the air everywhere, and we're talking about how to build a workflow. So I want to ask you this question, Devin. You went to college. I'm not going to ask you when you went to college or where you went to college, but you did go to college. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And you do spell your name with a Y, Devyn, right?
Yes.
Aaron, you did you go to college somewhere?
No.
Okay. And I'm not asking for your last name, but you spell your name with an E-R-I-N. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And so at college, Devin, when you went to college, did they ever talk about how to become rich? Did you ever have a class like how to become rich? Was that ever a class?
That was never a class.
Really? Okay. And so I was going to college at Oral Roberts University. I went to St. Cloud State. For anybody out there that doesn't know, I was going to high school. I thought high school was very much a waste of my time. So I thought I'll go to college early, which you can do in Minnesota. If you have enough credits, you can go to college early. And I went to college early at St. Cloud State, and I determined there they would never have a class called How to Get Rich either. Whoa. So I thought this is a waste of my time. So I went to Oral Roberts University, and there I discovered they also don't teach a class on how to become rich. And I discovered that was a waste of my time. So I went to St. Cloud State University, Oral Roberts University. Then I went to Oklahoma State. And at Oklahoma State, I also discovered there were no classes about how to become rich. So I thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to learn how to become rich, and I'm going to do it. And then that's just one less thing to think about. So that was my thing. And so I built a company out of my dorm room at Oral Roberts University. If you want to see the car, folks, that I had today, if you're watching the podcast here, if you can see it, if you don't have the podcast in front of you on the visual, you can go to thrivetimeshow.com/millionaire, thrivetimeshow.com/millionaire, and you go to page 3. That is my Ford Escort. There it is. Ford Escort. And so that I decided with that vehicle and a drive to do so, I would become wealthy at a young age. So I built this company called djconnection.com, which I don't own. I have no ownership of right now. But if you go to djconnection.com, you can see the company I once owned. I haven't owned it in like 10 years. And I'm pretty positive that as a libertarian, almost everybody in the world disagrees with my political views because I do not like any government at all, almost ever, unless it's there to provide for the safety and protection of the people. I believe that government exists only to allow me to pursue life, liberty, and happiness, and that's about it. And so my saying that I started DJ Connection is true, but I'm not in any way, shape, or form endorsing the company, nor not endorsing the company. I have no idea what they're doing, but I'm just giving you some context. So as I built the DJ business, I discovered that I had to build a workflow, which if you go to thrivetimeshow.com/millionaire, page 5, you can see the workflow. So, Devin, there are 14 boxes that you have to dominate to be good at to play the game of business well. So you played softball, right?
Yes.
So if you were, what position did you play?
Shortstop.
What are the components that make a good softball player?
You have to be tough. You have to know how to think on your feet.
Yep.
And you have to have a good arm.
A good arm. So let's just say you met somebody who is in great physical shape, okay? And they can really hit a baseball well. They can field the ball well. They have a good arm. They're fast. These are sort of like the components of success needed. but they also need to have a good brain.
Right. You do have to have a good mental space.
Okay. And Aaron, did you play sports in college or high school or anywhere?
Yes, I did cross country and track.
Okay. And what would be the components that go into making a good athlete for cross country?
Stamina and just doing it every day.
Doing it every day.
Mhm.
Okay. So what the components that go into building a successful company, there are 14 boxes, all right, of success. And people look at Dr. Robert Zoellner and I, and they look at the businesses that he's built, that I've built, that we've built. They go there and they go, man, between you and Z, you guys have one of the largest dog training businesses in America. You got a haircut chain. You got an optometry clinic. There's a bank, Regent Bank. There's tiptopcanine.com. There's Elephant in the Room. There's this podcast. There's makeyourlifeepic.com, the marketing company. There's an auto auctions, e66aa.com. How do you do it all? It's these 14 boxes. And nobody ever asks me about how to become successful. No one ever asks. People can I borrow $5,000? That's the question. No one ever says, how do you do it? So we're going to go through the boxes. Okay. So box one, Aaron, what does the box one say in bolded text?
Establish revenue goals.
Okay. So Devin, what does it say in non-bolded text on page 15?
Yearly gross revenue goals, total weekly gross revenue goals.
I mean, here gross is just the total, the big total before any expenses. You got to figure out your total goals. It just has to happen. And so I met today with a wonderful client, Randy Antrican of pmhokc.com. Randy today, he sold more sales. He does outdoor living spaces, pools, hot tubs, patios. He's doing more sales in a week now than most people in his industry are doing in half a year. You know, or Andrew Sorcini, wonderful guy. I love this guy with Beverly Hills Precious Metals, bh-pm.com. He's doing more sales now in a week than most people do in his industry in a year. So the question is, how? Step one, to be bilingually, to be sensitive to those who are bilingual. Step one, you've got to determine what your gross revenue goals are. Now, going back to cross country, Aaron, you had to know like what an acceptable time is to go for, right? A certain time.
Yeah.
Okay. How long is a cross country meet or track meet? How long is it?
Typically about 30 minutes to an hour.
And you're running through country clubs, right? You're running through golf courses. Was that what you were doing?
We actually did open fields.
I did cross country in high school for a while. So I did mostly, it was like country clubs and open fields. And so, but you kind of know a time to aim for.
Yeah.
Devin, baseball, in this case, softball, you played softball. If you're a very good hitter, what is your batting average? What should it be?
400 to 500,
If you're really good.
600.
How hard can you throw a softball? If someone's really, just wow, they're good. How hard can they throw it?
Pitching wise, 70 miles per hour.
Get out of here. Softball?
70, yeah.
It's crazy. Okay. The reason why I'm saying that is there's some sort of number by which you can calibrate your success. You can determine whether this is successful or not based upon some number. So I, sitting there in college, by the way, if you go to thrivetimeshow.com/millionaire, I determined on page 4 of this book, if you can download it at thrivetimeshow.com/millionaire, I determined that I needed to make about $100,000 a year to achieve all my goals. Now, the question I would have for you is if I'm DJing wedding receptions and the average price, and again, I don't own the company anymore at all, but if the average price of a wedding at the time was $600 a wedding, and I made a total of 20%, a profit of 20% per wedding, that's $120 per wedding. How many weddings do I need to do a year to make $100,000? It's like, let's do the math. So you take 120 and you go, well, you do 1,000 maybe? I don't know. It's a lot of math. Okay. Whoa. So if I did 1,000 weddings a year, I could get to that income. And then there's how many weeks in a year? There's 52, right? So
Yeah.
So I got to do 23, you start doing the math and you go, okay, I'm going to do 1,000 weddings a year. I'm going to divide that by 52. And you go, boom. So I had to do 19.2 wedding receptions every single week. So I had to book like 4 a day. So these are just numbers. So then I'm in my office. I got a big number that says 4. And people are like, what's that number? I got to book 4 weddings today. What? 4. So step 1, you got to figure out your gross revenue goals. Are we on the same page?
Yes.
Okay. Step 2, you got to figure out how many customers you need to break even. Now, we're taking the Reawaken America tour, which I don't know when you, the listener, will hear this. Maybe you're hearing this after the tour. Maybe you're hearing it before the tour. Maybe you're hearing it right now. I don't know. Sometimes people will listen to a show I did 7 years ago and go, oh my gosh, it changed my life. And I go, what show was that? And they tell me, and I say, that was 7 years ago. Okay. But if you go to timetofreeamerica.com, you can see this Reawaken America tour that I'm doing with Eric Trump and General Flynn and Mike Lindell, others. And we're going to Nashville right now. How many tickets have we sold right now? Do we know how many tickets we've sold?
We're at 3,900.
Right. And I know the maximum number of homies that we can fit into said place is 4,000. So you got that?
Yes.
So that means we got about 90 tickets left. Am I right?
Yeah.
How many tickets do I have to sell to break even for Nashville? This is pretty crazy.
Probably like 4,500.
Yeah. So this is the thing. We have a no-show rate or an absenteeism rate, a non-show rate of about 10% of people that don't show up for things in general in life as you're selling tickets to events. But I did the math. I'm going to have to sell almost 4,300 tickets just to break even. So that means I can't make money at that event, which means it's a terrible, terrible business model. But you know what? I'm not doing the Reawaken America tour to make money. But I'm assuming if you're listening to this show about how to build a business, you're probably trying to make money. And the reason why I can do the Reawaken America tour is because I make money doing other things. So the dog training business, which I did not start, but I am a minority partner of, called tiptopcanine.com. People out there say, I want to achieve financial success and I don't know how to do it. If you have no idea what kind of business you want to do, tiptopcanine.com is a great option for you. It's a franchise. Also, you could go to oxyfresh.com. Again, these are companies I did not start, but I do help to grow oxyfresh.com. And those are businesses for under $50,000. You can buy a business that works where all 14 of these boxes are figured out. Now, the next box, Devin, what's the big bolded letters on box 3?
Number of hours.
You got to figure out how many hours per week you're willing to work. Now, I'm just going to do some math with people. Most days I wake up at 3. Okay. And I personally like to work. I like to get here if I can at 5 or a little before. And I like to go from 5 to 6, 6:30 every day. That's what I like to do. So 13 hours a day, 6 days a week. I work about 78 to 90 hours a week every week. I don't even know what it's like. 40 hours is the first half of my week. Okay. But other people want to work 40 hours. That's fine. But why do you, Devin, have to figure out how many hours a week you're willing to work if you're listening right now? Why is that an essential thing in your mind?
Because if you're going to want to grow your business, you need to know what you're willing to do. Because if you're going to work more than what you're willing to do, then you're not going to want to do that.
Aaron, cross country, going back to your thing. Can you think of somebody in your mind? I'm not asking for the name. I'm just asking you to think about it. Can you think about somebody in your mind who they said all the things. They said, I want to become successful. I want to do it. But yet they weren't willing to put in the work.
Yes.
Have you seen that? Have you seen this?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Devin, have you seen this phenomenon?
Yes.
Softball, where someone
Right.
says, I really want to be successful. Well, who doesn't? I mean,
Right.
how many people do you interview? They go, yeah, being homeless. That's what I want. Mediocrity. Yes. But who wants to put in the work for it? I don't know. So you have to, listening right now, you have to ask the question. So the haircut chain that I have, Elephant in the Room, EITRlounge.com, I built that business in a way to where I don't have to do anything but about 4 hours to 5 hours per week to run the business. So every week on Monday, and I'll pull up my calendar so people can see this. This is a real thing. This is not a hologram. This is a real calendar. Every single Monday, I have a meeting with the managers at 8. Now, why do you suspect, Devin, that I would have a meeting at 8 o'clock every day with the managers and the super managers of Elephant in the Room? Why would I do that?
To keep people accountable.
And?
Because it's consistent.
And?
Got to go over numbers. Got to make sure there's nothing going wrong in the shops.
Yeah, and it's like all of it. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, and the reason why I have that meeting is because if and you're going to be doing some of this, by the way. So if every single, Monday, we're short on shampoo, we're short on hair product, we have too many employees, we don't have enough employees, the Facebook ads aren't working, there's whatever. I want to deal with all of it at one time. I don't want to be thinking about all these unconnected, dissimilar ideas related to the hair. So anybody who works as a manager for me, I tell them, Any epiphanies, great ideas to grow the business, bad ideas, good ideas, time off requests, give it to me all Monday at 8. And then the whole week, I don't have to think about it.
Right.
But then every Wednesday night, we do the group interview here. And why do I interview wonderful people like you and you every week at the group interview? Why do I do it every week? Every week.
Because then it doesn't take out way more hours on the other days of the week. You have everyone come to one interview 1 day a week just to knock it all out.
And this is what's crazy. This will blow your mind. Being that I'm 42, I had one guy who worked for me for 10 years. Awesome. He's phenomenal. And then one day, I remember out of the blue, and this was back in my DJ career, he comes to me and says, yeah, I decided I don't want to do it anymore. And I'm going to be moving to a different city. And I'm going, really? Now, everybody else in the office knew that this guy was moving on to his new thing. And why do you feel like I'm the last person to be told? This is a person I hired 10 years. I've hired them on my payroll. Aaron, why do you think most employees typically tell me, as the person who writes the paychecks, last that they've already made plans to move down to Texas? They've already got a new girlfriend. They've already got a new house. Why am I the last one to be told?
Probably because they think that they might get fired.
There
Just
you
let
go. There you go. And I've never done that. I've never blindsided someone with a firing. But again, it doesn't stop people from writing that on, Indeed or wherever you leave reviews, Glassdoor or whatever. So, the employee comes to me, he's like, I don't know how to say this. It's not you. It's not you. And I'm like, are you wanting to move? Are you leaving? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, and I'm going, hey, when are you going? He's like, I have to go next week. Well, I'm DJing weddings. 4,000 weddings a year at that time. 4,000 weddings a year. Now, am I going to call a bride and go, yeah, excuse me. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah, I can't do your wedding. Our guy's moving down to Dallas. We got a bogey here. No, I have to DJ it. So I always have to have a pipeline of other players that I'm drafting so that I can have somebody at the same skill level fill in. That's just my life. I call it the expiration date. Everybody has an expiration date. Literally, there'll be a certain time when you die. Milk has an expiration date at a certain time where you probably shouldn't have it. Now, if you're a single man living alone, you might have the milk a couple weeks after it expires. But if you're a woman or someone with any type of class, or you're a domesticated man, you probably shouldn't do that. But if an employee wants to move on and move to Dallas to move in with his new girlfriend and his new thing and his new time, you don't want to be stuck. So I have to do that every single week. So I have the group interview every week, and I can't stop it. Now, you see my wife, she comes up here, she does accounting.
Oh, yeah.
Why does she come in every day to look at the numbers? Why does that happen every day?
Because if she doesn't, then she might miss something. It just keeps track of everything.
And every day, Aaron, why don't I give my wife a big list of accounting stuff once a month? Why do we look at it every day? Why do you think every day?
To be consistent, make sure nothing's being missed or skipped over.
Right. So today, I've got a guy who reaches out to me and he wants a pretty big reimbursement. I'm just being transparent. I need to reimburse somebody for the Reawaken America Tour. We have doctors, dentists, lawyers, people that come and speak and talk about what's going on in America. And sometimes they need a reimbursement and sometimes they don't. But if somebody needs reimbursement, for a hotel or airfare, I can't get with my wife and say a month later, hey, could you reimburse them? So that's more of a daily thing. Mm-hmm. But it's super important you figure out how many hours a week you're willing to work. My wife likes to work about 1 hour a day. She comes in. That's what she does. But if you're listening out there today, it's really important you ask the question, how many hours per week are you willing to work? Now, the next box number 4. Aaron, what's box number 4?
Create 3-legged marketing stool.
Now, on page 5 of this book, again, you can download it at thrivetimeshow.com/millionaire. It's free. I wrote a book called A Millionaire's Guide to How to Become Sustainably Rich. They don't teach this in college. I don't know why. I would think that would be the only class they would teach, but they don't. So here it is. Okay, so box number 4. You have to have 3 ways that you market to your ideal and likely buyers and not 75. You know why? Why, Aaron, why do you have to have 3 ways to market to your ideal and likely buyers and not 75?
Well, you want to make sure that you're reaching out to different demographics, different platforms. Not everyone looks at just one.
Okay. Devin, why do you think you want to have 3 ways to market to your ideal and likely buyers and not 75?
Having 3 ways makes it easier to do that with whatever company you're trying to market to.
So let's think about this. So this is PMH. I'm going to pull it up real quick, folks. You can see it's PMHOKC.com. This is a longtime client, great guy. He needs to be top of the Google search results in order to reach his ideal and likely buyers. Now, he happens to be the best at what he does in Oklahoma. In my opinion, having worked with many people in his industry, I can't think of anybody who does it better than pmhokc.com. For some reason, the screen is a big white screen right now. For some reason, I can't get it to pull up. And that's probably just par for the course right now. Probably some internet jackassery. But what I would say is that pmhokc.com, he's got to be top in Google. So when people, there he is, it's pulling up now. So when people are searching online for OKC gunite pools, we've got to make sure he's top in Google. There he is. Because if you were typing in gunite pools, are you going to go to page 7 of Google just to be nice?
No.
Right. I mean, most people call, Aaron, do you go, I mean, if you're looking for a gunite pool and you lived in Oklahoma City, what would you type into Google?
Probably gunite pools near me.
Okay. And then would you go to page 7 or 4 or 6 of the search results, or what page would you stick to?
Probably the top.
Yeah. So there it is. So PMH, look at it. He comes up top here. And this is all stuff we teach at our workshops. So boom, he comes up top here. Then he comes up top here, comes up top here. Then once you go to his website, when you go to pmhokc.com, all right, when you go there, this is one leg of the marketing stool. It's Google search engine domination. Then once they go to the site, you've got to make a compelling offer. The people fill out the form. Then you have to have sales scripts and processes. But the point is, you have 3 ways to market to your ideal and likely buyers. The second way, social media. This just in. People use social media. So if someone's going on Facebook or YouTube or Instagram or Twitter or wherever they go, if your ads pop up in front of your ideal and likely buyers, that's a move. All right. And then the third thing you want to do for a guy like him is you want to have a great referral network. You want all of the companies in town that do landscaping to refer you, all the home builders to refer you, but you got to have a 3-legged marketing stool. If you're listening right now, I want to ask you, what are the 3 most effective ways to reach your ideal and likely buyers? For the elephant in the room, the haircut chain, I have 3 ways I market to buyers. Again, I don't have 50 ways I market to buyers. Why don't I have 50 ways I'm marketing? For my sanity. I mean, what if I had 50 different ways I was marketing?
It would just be too much.
Right. So for the Reawaken America Tour, what do? I do interviews on podcasts that people with a brain listen to. That's one way. Way 2, we're very good at doing word of mouth, where people who attended the conference, we stay in touch with them and they tell their friends. How often, Aaron, do you ask somebody, how'd you hear about the Reawaken America Tour? And they say, a friend told me. Is it like 1 out of 10, 1 out of 20?
I would say about 1 out of 10.
There you go. And the reason why is because it's all over the country, right?
Right.
How often do you hear someone who says, I heard about it through a podcast, Aaron? How often is it? I heard it, Clay, on a show.
Probably 90%.
And how often is it someone else's show versus my own show?
Probably about 50%.
50 on someone else's show, 50 on mine.
Yeah.
See, and that's the 3 ways. The 3 ways, right? I'm on 3 ways I market. 1, I'm on their show. So I'm on someone else's show. Way number 2 is market on my own show. And 3, it's word of mouth. That's it. Now, why don't I do billboards? I guess I could, but I'm not going to. Why don't I do mass mailers? I guess I could, but I'm not going to. Why don't I do social media? I guess I could, but I don't. There's all different ways I could, but I have 3 that work. All right. So box number 4, Aaron, what's box number 4?
Improve branding.
Yeah. Branding is what people think about when they see your website for the first time. So those of you who are listening to this show today, you won't see me. You won't see Devin. You won't see Aaron on today's show, but you will hear us. What you will see, though, is the visuals we've put up on the screen. And when you go to pmhokc.com, let's click on the pools button. And I'm going to click this button, Devin, and I'm going to ask for your real deal reaction. Just give it to me on 3, 2, 1. Okay, here we go. 3, click on the pools button at PMHOKC. Clicking it.
Woo, pretty.
You like it?
Yeah.
If this was your backyard, would this be okay?
Oh, yeah.
You would like it?
Yeah, I would.
Okay. Now we're working on this today. This is what we were adding today. This is where you can see how the whole thing looks before you build it. It's like a 3D interactive look there. And it turns out this is like, everybody loves this. They love the idea they can see the pool before they build the pool.
Yeah.
This is a big thing. And branding is a big thing. Branding is just what people think of when they see you for the first time. Look at that. There it is.
Oh, yeah.
So you can see the 3D. Aaron, can you see this? I'll make sure you can see this. Again, we're in the studio here, so you can kind of. So this is like a 3D rendering we do for people before we move in to the building phase. So let me hit play. So this is what a customer would see right here before. I don't know if it's going to work here for me. It's probably just because I need it to work. Here we go. Hit and play. Feeling the flow. Working it. It's not working. Okay. But people can see this. If you were thinking about putting a pool in your backyard, Aaron, would this be helpful to see this previous to
Yes.
build? I mean, Devin, would this be a thing for
Yeah,
you?
that's awesome.
And it doesn't cost anything for them to look at the 3D rendering and
Right.
to see it, and it's just right there. So again, branding is what people think of when they first encounter the business. So people go to timetofreeamerica.com and they go to the website for the first time. Whether they like it or not, that's okay. But they go here, they can see the previous events we've done. They scroll down, they can see the key speakers, and that's how it works. And I just think it's so important. And what percentage of the time do you think we work with a new business owner and they go, to be honest with you, I probably need to update my website? It's like every time. So I'm asking you rhetorically, if you're listening right now, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest, how highly would you rate your branding? Your website, your business cards, your logos, your hoodie sweatshirts, your t-shirts, your signage, your mailers, your business card. You know, back in the day, I used to have metal business cards, and people would keep those for a decade. Metal business cards. Why do people keep a metal business card?
Because it's unique.
Yeah, it stands out. So again, you just got to be asking yourself, my branding, how good is my branding? My branding, how good is my, and if you don't have these thoughts, the customer is going to have these thoughts. If you don't sit down and think about it, the customer is going to if you don't sit down and go, how good is my website? Does my website make sense? I don't know if it. So it's really important, though, that you think about your branding. And that's one thing we do as a coaching program. If you come to our workshops, we do them every 2 months. You can find out more about those at thrivetimeshow.com. Thrivetimeshow.com. We do them every 2 months. And I let people name their price. I've always let people name their price. Aaron, why do you think I let people name their price? I tell people it's $250 to attend, but or whatever price you can pay. Why do you think I do that?
So that way, anyone that wants to attend can attend.
Right.
Yeah.
It just makes sense. You know what I mean? And at these workshops, we teach all these things, but it's so important. You have the 14 boxes. Okay. So box number 6. Box number 6, Devin. What's box number 6?
Unique value proposition.
That's like, how do you compete with the other guys? Did you ever play a softball game where you just got destroyed?
Yeah.
Like just totally destroyed?
Yeah.
Was there ever a pitcher you faced that you're just like, oh no?
Terrified. Yeah.
Were you?
Yeah.
So that lady who throws 70 miles an hour and you're like, she's not human.
Yep.
Does that happen?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to know how you stack up, though. You have to know. You have to know you versus the other guys. How do you stack up? And Aaron, if you don't know how you stack up versus the other guys, and you're out there trying to sell a pool or a hot tub or a dog training service or a haircut business or a restaurant, how could that be a bad idea?
Well, you want to know where you set apart from your competitors. Like what sets you like.
What if you don't know, though? How could that possibly hurt you if you have no concept of what the other guys are doing?
Well, then you have no idea what you're lacking, like what you need to do to improve it.
So as an example, CPAC, I've talked to many people who've gone to CPAC. I've never gone to CPAC. It's a conservative event. And people are going, it's like $6,000 for a booth. Like it's $10,000 for this. It's $3,000 for this. For a VIP, it's like $5,000. People are saying, I've gone to events before, Clay, and they're always thousands for a booth, for a ticket, thousands. I'm going, well, then I feel pretty good about letting people name their price. So I just think it's important, though. So for my pool guy, Randy Antrican here, pmhokc.com, he knows who his competitors are. He knows what they charge. He knows what they offer. He knows what they don't. That's very important. Box number 7, Devin, box number 7, we're halfway there.
Create a sales conversion system.
Why do you have to have a script, recorded calls, a one sheet, pre-written emails, a tracker so you can see how many sales are actually done? This is all on page 5, by the way, folks. You need to have a sales script, step 1, recorded calls, step 2, a one sheet, which is kind of like a layout of all the benefits you offer, a pre-written emails, pre-written text messages, and a lead tracker. Why do you have to have all those things in place?
Well, you have to have the script because everyone needs to say the same thing. It has to be organized.
If you were speculating of the clients I've worked with, and again, if you go to thrivetimeshow.com, I have over 2,000 client success stories at thrivetimeshow.com. If you go to thrivetimeshow.com, you click on testimonials. They're on video, by the way, too. These are real people, not holograms. What percentage of the time do you think these people, who are wonderful people, don't have a sales script in place?
All of them.
Right. And why is it that people don't have a sales script?
I guess they just don't think about it. They don't think it's
There it
important.
is. There it is. My entire life, I feel like sometimes involves thinking about things that no one else thinks about. It's so crazy. I sometimes friends of my wife, we have 5 kids, 4 of which are girls. They're involved in various girl things. So I meet the dads, and the dads are like, what do you do for a living? And I tell them I grow companies, and they always go, okay. And like 1 out of 50 will go, how do you do it? And I go, well, what you want to do is there's 14 boxes. And box 1, and when I start getting it on box 4, it's very rare, but they'll go, you're saying I need to have a 3-legged marketing stool? Because right now I'm doing like a magazine, I'm doing trade shows, I'm doing everything. And then I don't know what's working. I'm like, okay, that's box 7. They go, box 7, what's that? I said, well, the lead tracker. You need to track where leads come from. And they go, really? I go, yeah, you need to have a sales script. They go, holy crap, I got to go get a pen. Because most people don't think about these things ever. They just don't. I don't know what it is, but they don't. They don't think about it. So we're going on to box number 8. Aaron, what's box number 8?
Determine sustainable customer acquisition cost.
Why is it important to know how much money it costs you to get a new customer?
Because most of the time, whenever you get a new customer, it's better just to keep them coming back rather than having to continue.
So let's think about this just for a second. JT works for me. And JT, if you're listening, hello, how are you doing? So JT, I pay JT every time that he books me on a show. And every time he books someone on my show, I pay him like a booking fee to book people on my show and to book me on people's shows. Why do I do that, Devin? Why?
Well, 1, it would motivate him to book people.
So some weeks, I mean, I'm just JT, I'm hearing the truth. Sometimes there's weeks I've paid the man, $2,000-$3,000. And there's some weeks I pay him a lot less than that. And it's because I pay him every time he books me on a show.
Right. Now,
why is it important for me to know how much money I pay him to book me on a show? But I mean, Devin, why do I have to know that number?
You have to know the number because have to know how to pay him. And then that way, you know how many shows you're on and how many people have been on your shows.
So let's say, hypothetically, that I paid JT $75 to book me on a show.
Okay.
And if we only get 1 ticket sold from the show, because our average ticket price, I feel like most people pay about $70 to $80. Am I out of my mind?
Yeah.
Maybe. Because you have people that you have the VIPs.
Right.
And then you also have the scholarships. What's the lowest scholarship you've sold a ticket for so far? Devin, what's the lowest?
$5.
Aaron, what's the lowest ticket you've sold a ticket for the Reawaken American Tourist? Lowest price?
$2.07.
Okay. And then there's VIPs, people pay $500.
Right.
But you kind of look at the aggregate average and, all I'm saying is on average, I know that on average, we sell 15 tickets per show that I'm on.
Right.
So if I need to sell 4,000 tickets, how many shows do I need to be on? If it's 15, if it was 10 tickets per show, how many would I need to be on? And to me,
40.
400.
400.
Right. Which is a lot.
Yeah.
It's because we're doing it like 1 every 6 weeks. Oh, no. Now, luckily, we're doing 15 tickets per interview I'm on. But you do the math, and I got to do about 40 interviews a week, 40 every week. So, that's how this Reawaken America Tour works, So you got to think about it, though. It's like, what does it cost you to get a new customer? It's really important you think about it. Box number 9. What's box number 9, Devin?
Create repeatable systems, processes, and file organization.
So I'm going to ask you on Monday to do some fun work for Elephant in the Room. Okay, I say fun work. You're going to be doing certain things that it requires me to trust an individual to do.
Right.
Like ordering shampoo products, that kind of thing. Like it's important that the system is organized so that you can just follow a system as opposed to having to go online and find a shampoo dealer.
Right.
We order beverages and food items for the stores. It's important that everything's documented. Aaron, have you ever worked in a business ever where there's no systems for anything ever?
Yes.
How's that going? How was that going? Was it fun?
No.
What makes that difficult when you work at a business where there's no systems?
So it's very chaotic, unorganized. No one communicates with each other. It's just hectic.
Have you ever had a college class, Devin, where the professor clearly doesn't have a point?
Oh, yeah.
But they have an hour to fill.
Yep.
An hour to kill.
Yeah.
And you're paying for it.
Yeah.
And you're like, what are they saying? Have you ever had that happen to you?
It's painful.
Aaron, has this happened to you before? You ever been to a college class or high school class where it's abundantly clear that the person speaking has no plan?
Yes.
This has all happened.
Mhm.
So if you're listening right now and you're a business owner, don't be that guy. Don't do it. Don't be the one who has, you gotta have a checklist and a system. And if you go to thrivetimeshow.com/millionaire, we have all sorts of tools and guides you can download, because checklists and processes are a huge part of what makes a business run. Because if you don't have any systems, then nothing works. We're going on to box number 10, unveiling the secrets of the universe here. This is box number 10. So you got 3, 6, 9. Box number 10. This would be what? Box number 10, Devin. What do you got? Box number 10. Joy to the world.
Human resources and recruitment.
Right. It's just so important. I don't think a lot of people have these thoughts. They say, I can't find good people. Okay, that's a statement people make. I hear this all the time. Men say this to me at churches. I go to a church. People know that I run businesses. They always go, man, I just can't find good people. Now here's the deal. This just in. They've been saying that to me since at least 1999, because I've been self-employed since that time. Like, you just can't find good people. This was in 2005, 2007, 2010. 2012, 13, no good people today. People today are not good. I hear that all the time. You can't find good people. But if you have a process, so every week, how many people do you think typically come on Wednesday night to come apply to work here, Devin? What do you think?
Probably
Typically
15 to 20.
Yeah. And during a busy week, it might be 40, low week 2, just to discourage me. I've had some weeks where there's 2 people. But every week we have to interview people. And why do I have to recruit people every week? Aaron, again, why can't I just take a week off or a month off? Why do I have to interview people every single Wednesday night at 5:30?
Because turnover can happen whenever. So you need someone to continue to come in.
And why do I do the group interview at 5:30 at night as opposed to at 2 in the afternoon?
To make sure that if they have a job or if they have something going on, they can make
Yes, these are the profound things that I think about that nobody else thinks about. All I think about is this. These are the things I think about. I don't think about other things. I don't know. I have such a hard time understanding sometimes what I think about and other people think about. It's such like a huge gap. I feel like I'm an alien sometimes. I feel like I'm an alien that's, I don't know, because a lot of people business owners will tell me, they'll say, Clay, I can't find good people. I'm going, yeah, do the group interview every week at 5:30. They go, yeah, but I have to take my kids to band. And I think I've never had that thought. I don't even know what that would. Have someone else take them to band, or, well, you need to do it at 5:30 because that's when people get off of work. And they go, yeah, I'm going to do mine at 4 though. I'll do my interview at 4. How's that working? It doesn't work. Another example, people will say, the reason why I don't interview people as a group is I like to do it one-on-one. Okay, let me show this to you. Did you know that 85% of people lie on resumes? They admit to it. 85% lie on. Aaron, did you know this?
Yes.
I mean, this is Inc. I mean, first off, what kind of a sick freak goes on to Inc. magazine and takes an anonymous survey and says, yeah, I lie on my resume all the time. It's awesome. Keep this anonymous. It's what I do. But 85% of people admit to lying on their resumes, according to Inc. magazine. And every study I've found says about the same thing. Do you know the U.S. Chamber reports that 75% of employees steal from the workplace?
Yes.
Have you worked at a workplace where people steal all the time?
Yeah, I owned a business for 5 years and people would steal from me all the time.
All the time.
All the time.
And there's no shame in the game.
No.
They don't care. It's wild. People ask me, why are you the way you are? It's because I've been self-employed since I was like 16 years old. And I've been going through this now. This is like I don't know. I mean, we're pretty deep into it now. You know, I'm 26 years into being self-employed. I've been stolen. I can't tell you how many people have stolen from me. I've seen it all. The most recent one that was kind of fun is I had a client of mine try to steal my employees away from me. That happened in the last 30 days. That kind of stuff happens all the time. So you do the group interview. So people always say, if you have 160 clients, why do I always do 13-point assessments with potential clients every week? Why do I do that, Devin?
Because clients can cancel. They can be.
What about
fired.
the client? I had a client, longtime client, not going to mention the details. I'm just going to keep it vague. Client is supposed to pay me 2% of the growth. So when I work with clients, a lot of times they want us to be a client with them they want me to work with them for years.
Right.
So I will put an agreement together that says, I will continue coaching you. And to be very clear, I charge, if you're listening right now, I charge $1,700 a month, $1,700 per month. and I make a 20% margin. So it's $340 a month per client per month. And there are 160 clients. So it's $54,400 a month of profit that core business generates. But where most of my wealth is generated is I get a small percentage of the growth. Make sense?
Yes.
So last month, I had a client I worked with. This is an average. A client, they pay me $8,000 a month because it's a commission as a percentage that their business was stuck forever, very small. And they say, if you can help me grow to this point, I'll pay you 2% of the growth. And if I get a small percentage of the growth, 2% of the growth, why is that a good deal for the client? To get paid 2% commission on growth they weren't having.
Because they're growing. They're making money.
They're making a lot more.
Yeah.
So this client, did you tell me, Aaron, you just tell me what would tip you off here. The client who's paying me 2% of the growth says, so I'm going to sell the business to my sons. I'm going to sell the business to my kids. I'm going to sell the business to my sons. So I'm not going to honor the agreement anymore. Now, the agreement that I have clearly states that the business pays me 2% of the growth, not the owner, the business itself. It's an agreement contractually bound and signed. What part of that would just sound off a few alarms to you? If the owner says, moving forward, I can't pay you your commissions anymore because I'm selling my business to my kids. What part of that sounds a little
It's just not right. Like, you help them grow their business. You had an agreement previously, and now they're just stepping back.
So then what I do is I say, antenna up, and I go, I wonder who else knows about this. And I start finding out that employees who work here are also working for said client during the weekends. And so I go to the client, I go to the employee, I say, employee, you've been here for more than 5 years. Are you working for the client on the side? They go, yeah. And I'm like, and does the owner of the business who claims to have sold the company to their kids, do they still run it? They go, yeah. And I go, so you're aware they're screwing me? Yeah, that happens. And I'm not upset about it. It's my normal. I have 160 clients and I'm usually getting screwed once a month, just as a way to remember I'm alive. Every month, it's like an anniversary of, congratulations, you're alive. You're getting screwed. That's my normal. You know, and you played softball.
Yep.
How often do you get up to bat and you don't get a hit? I mean, if you have 10 at bats, how often do you not get a hit?
Well, it happens a lot.
Like 7 out of 10 times, probably.
Yeah, it happens more. Really, it happens more than you actually get a hit, unfortunately.
So if you're a football player, you're a baseball player, you're probably going to get sore. You're going to get tackled. It's part of life.
Yeah.
So I don't lament about it. I don't cry about it. I just always have to do 13-point assessments. And today we had a 13-point assessment. I grabbed you and I said, hey, we're going to do a 13-point assessment. And guess what happened? Did the person pick up the phone?
No.
No, they didn't. You know why? Because most people don't have a to-do list or a calendar. And I'm not upset about it. I'm just telling you, this is the math. For every week, we have about 10 to 20 people that reach out and say, I want to become one of your clients. Every week, 10 to 20 people say, I want to become a client. 10 to 20. Some busy times of the year, maybe 30. Slow times, maybe 5. And of those people, how many of them, when we do book an appointment, how many of them do you think keep the appointment?
Less than half.
Right. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Some people are like, man, I listen to your show every day. I want to become a client. Good. So we book an appointment, and less than half honor the appointment time or even try to.
Right.
It's okay if you miss an appointment occasionally or you forgot or your calendar, but people that just don't even care. They'll just say, yeah, I missed it. My bad. But you want to do a different time? And just because I like to at least be somewhat optimistic, I'll say, sure, we book another time. They missed that time too.
Oh.
So again, every week, though, I have to do recruitment. If you're listening right now, you have to do this every week. You can't not do it, okay? Aaron, if I were to stop doing the group interview, what would happen to my life? If I stopped interviewing potential employees, what would happen to my life?
Well, you wouldn't have replacement, new employees, growth, replacements if people leave.
Then I would be sitting there begging people that are screwing me to come to work every day. And I just don't even know what that's like. I don't care. Okay, so moving on to, I recommend everybody out there does the group interview every single week because it works. That's how we do it. Okay, moving on to the next box. This is box number 11. What do you got? Box number 11, Devin.
11 or 12.
I think it's box number 11.
Okay, so create a sustainable and repetitive weekly schedule.
You have to build a schedule that works for you so that way you don't end up divorced.
Right.
Or no longer dating the person or whatever that is, because you can't have every single day being a wandering generality about what you're going to do. So today I'm doing an interview with the Epoch Times at Juan. Why am I doing an interview at why is it the same time every week with Kirk with the why am I every single week doing an interview with the Epoch Times at the same time every single Saturday? Why am I doing that, Devin?
Because it works for you and it works for him.
There it is. It's done. It's awesome.
There we go.
And if he can't make it, he's out of town, I'm out of town, whatever. But the point is, it's like it's sustainable schedule. I have tried understanding the minds of other people, and it really, I struggle sometimes to get it because people are like, man, you have so many businesses that work and you have time freedom. How do you do it? How do you do it? Well, I make a calendar, I schedule it. Now, once you have a schedule that works, what happens, Aaron, when something is not on your schedule and it wants to be in your schedule, but it's not on your schedule? What do you do?
It depends on what it is, but I would try to schedule it at a different time if it wasn't already on there.
Yep.
Try to work it in.
Yep.
If it's something I could get done quickly without it interfering or putting me back, I would try to get it in.
So this week, I'm just going to fire it off for you, a bunch of them rapid fire. Devin, to see what you can, there's a group that reached out to me, nice people, great people. They said, hey, could you speak at our event? And what do you think I said to them?
You said no.
Right, because it's not on my schedule.
Right.
Another person calls me and says, is there any way I could meet with you about switching to a new company? We do printing, office printers, office computers, and somehow they got a hold of me. And I said,
no.
Right. Interesting. Somebody called me the other day and they said, I'd love it if we could go to lunch so I could talk to you about this. And I said,
no.
And why am I saying no?
Because it's not in your schedule.
That is right. I don't even know what it's like to wake up and not have a schedule. And I think most people don't do this. I think most people have no idea what they're going to get done today. And they're just like, well, we'll see. We'll just see what happens. Well, I'll tell you what's going to happen. You're not going to drift into success. I remember when I won my first award, I was 20 years old. Tulsa World comes to my apartment and they say, Clay Clark, you're the entrepreneur of the year. We'd like to interview you. I said, sure. So they came to my apartment. My wife and I are there and they're saying, did you ever think that you'd be successful? Yes, I did. They're like, really? Yes. I didn't luck into it. I mean, I've chosen this life, it's just, I don't understand. And I flip houses. I sell a lot of houses. People say, did you ever think that you'd make that big of a return on the house? Yes, which is why I bought it low and sold high. We need to be intentional. These are the 14 boxes. Did they cover any of this in college?
No.
Wow. Okay. So we move on to the next box. This is box number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12. Box number, is it 12?
Yep.
Okay. Box number 12. What's box number 12?
Management execution.
And what's the little sub question underneath that?
What people on your team will not do their jobs?
Right. If somebody won't do their jobs, fire them.
Yep.
Let me try again. If somebody won't do their job, fire them. Because whatever psychological problem that they have that will cause them to not do their job is not something you can fix.
Right.
There are certain people. We had a guy who moved here last year. You guys never met him, but this is a funny story. He moves here and he's like, I really want to work for you. I moved here from a different state just to apply for this job. And I'm going, cool. He says, I listen to your show every day. I said, great. He says, I'm committed. I said, great. He says, well, where can I start? I said, well, on the search engine team, we're always hiring. I'd love to hire you there. And he won't follow the system. He won't do it. He won't write 1,000 words of content per page. He won't weave in the keyword 6 times. He won't use unique content. He's like, well, I'm using an AI system that I've been working on. I think I could really improve your business. I'm like, no. You got to follow the system. Mm-hmm. So we have a second talk. And JT was standing right next to me when I talked to this guy. I said, you need to follow the system. He says, okay. Day 2. Work starts at 7. Every day we start at 7. Guy shows up at like 9. Won't follow the system. I said, hey, bro, town, we got to start at 7. We end at 3. You got to follow the system. And he's like, yeah, the thing is, I feel like you're like boxing me in. And I go, okay, you're fired. And I don't think he was the binary nature of that conversation of yes or no, A or B, right or wrong, left or right, I think is lost in many minds of people today.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I'm not trying to get political with it. I'm just saying, Aaron, do you know people that cannot tell right or wrong, left or right, A or B, up or down?
Oh, yeah.
I'm seeing this everywhere. Mm-hmm. I talk to business owners. They go, my people won't do their jobs. And I'm like, well, what you do is you fire them if they won't do their job. They go, well, how would I do it? I go, you walk up to them and you say it's not working out and you fire them. And I'm like, well, then what I do? Stop paying them. And it's like, well, yeah, but they're pregnant. I go, that's great. I love that you know that much about them, but still fire them. And they're like, well, no, but he's not pregnant. It's his wife who's pregnant, and he's got a big family he's supporting, and he needs this job. I go, okay, fire him. Because all that doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, let's talk about cars. Aaron, you drive a car, right?
Yes.
Okay. And by the way, thank you for helping my wife find her vehicle. But if a car doesn't work, if you're driving your car to work, driving to work, and your car stops working and it's unfixable, what would you do?
I would go buy a new one.
Interesting. If you had milk that was expired, Devin, it's in your fridge, you look at it, you go, this thing's expired. You look at it, this is bad. It's expired.
Yeah. Throwing it away.
Right. Why do people keep relationships that can't possibly work? What is that?
Feelings. They don't want to hurt people's feelings.
Feelings. So we got to move past that for somebody out there. Hope that helps somebody. Next box. What's the next box? What's the next box, Aaron?
Do your accounting and automate the earnings of millions.
Yes. So you got to do your accounting. And you have to automate. You have to save a set percentage of your income. So I don't have any big expensive hobbies or habits. And I basically save all of my income that I make. I don't really have. And every once in a while, pastors will call me and go, hey, man, thanks for the donation. And I'm going, I didn't donate that. I wonder who did. But my wife and I, we've agreed on what we're going to do. I believe in tithing. That's something we believe in. So we as a couple have already decided we're going to do the whole tithing thing. We've already decided. But how we tithe and who we tithe to, I'll let her handle that, that kind of thing. But I'm not like an emotional buyer of things. I don't go, oh my gosh, I really need this shiny thing. I'll go buy it now. Oh my gosh, that's a really tough time. I'm not going to tithe right now. It's just set it and forget it. And I just think the idea of budgeting, I don't know. Did they teach this in college, Devin?
No.
Aaron, they teach us in high school. Budgeting, was that a thing? Was that a class? Really?
No.
What are they teaching?
Exactly.
What were they Aaron, what were they teaching in high school?
Algebra.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. How to divide a square root of,
Yeah, and I use the Pythagorean theorem every day. A squared plus B squared times. No, I don't. But the thing is, a lot of times we have all this book knowledge, but we don't know these 14 boxes. All right. And the reason why I wanted to hammer these boxes today is because somebody out there listening today, you're going, man, my business is in a bad spot. And I can tell you what, one of these boxes is what's killing your game. It's or all the boxes. You maybe are great at management, but you're not bringing in any deals. Maybe you're great at marketing, but you're bad at management. Maybe you're great at marketing and management, but you're bad at being organized. So one of these boxes is killing you. All right. And then the final box, Aaron, what's the final box say?
What is the point of achieving financial success?
Right. What's the point? Go dark turn there. What's the point? What's the point? Can you take it with you? No, you can't. So you have to figure out what's the point. And for me, as a young guy, I thought I'm just not going to be poor anymore. That was my main goal. Not going to be poor. And then once you recognize, wow, I'm not poor, and then happens, then you're like, oh no, I'm successful. What do I do now? So what I did is I bought a big house. So I bought a house over here. I'll pull it up on the screen. I bought a house at 91st and Lynn Lane in Broken Arrow. Someone else owns it now. But I go there, I buy it. I'll put it up on the screen here. I bought this house, lived there. It's kind of fun, because I had a big house and it was kind of exciting having the big house, and people be, that's your big house. Awesome. You're living in this big house. And, let me see here. But then you get a big house, you got big problems too, because you got to mow the big grass. I think that's not my house. And that wasn't my house. 91st and Lynn Lane. Where are we? This is the Broken Arrow Expressway. 91st. Maybe it's like 91st and
There's Lynn Lane up there.
Where's Lynn Lane? Right there. So that's Lynn Lane and 41st. And then we got to go to 91st. Is that how we're doing it? That's what we're doing. We're going to the old house. Haven't been there in a while. We're making our way. 41st, 51st. How do we make our way to 91st? And let's try it again here. I'll do this. 8900. Ooh, South Lynn Lane. I know where I live. I'll put in the address. That's what I'll do. Okay. So you zoom in here, and this was the old house. This is where I used to live. And people would come to the house and they would say, this is a great place. This is great. And I ran my business out of this thing, and it was great. And there it was. And let me see if I can zoom in. So it was kind of fun because we had the home was on one, the house was over here, and the business was here, but they're attached.
Right.
And then this was the barn that I never went to, but I had it, And then over time I discovered, you know what? I don't need to have a big house right here to impress people that I don't know. But for a while, I think there was a time of my life where I was buying things that I didn't need to impress people that I didn't know. I think that was the thing I was doing. I think I was doing that. And I had a luxury car, and I was going, kind of want a white van instead. So now I drive a white van, and I love my white van because it's white and it's a van, and it works. It's pre-dented too. That way I don't worry about if it gets dented or anything. When I first bought it, I dented. I do that whenever I buy used cars now. I buy a car and dent it right away. That way I don't think about it. But if you're not careful, the car can become an idol for you. It can become like the focus of your life. If you're not careful, the house can become an idol. If you're not careful, all these things can become what you focus on when in fact that doesn't matter.
Exactly.
So it's really important that everybody takes the time today to think about your goals for your faith, your family, your finances, your fitness, your friendship, and your fun. And Aaron, if you don't schedule time with family, what's going to happen if you're a busy business owner?
You won't have them. They'll leave.
And if you don't schedule time to go to church, by default, what will probably happen?
You'll fall from your faith.
And if you don't schedule time to look at your finances, what will happen?
You go broke.
There it is. So you got to be intentional. So if you're out there today and you're saying, I want to be intentional, I want to take my business to the next level. If you go to thrivetimeshow.com, and you click on the conferences button, we have an upcoming business conference. This upcoming business conference is, we have to do them every 2 months. And you can get your tickets at thrivetimeshow.com. You click on the conferences button, and these events are 2 days. They're interactive. We do 16 to 18 hours of in-person training, hands-on. We teach you how to start and grow a successful company. You can name your price. I would love it if you'd pay $250, but if you can't, we'll help you out there. And again, you can get those tickets at thrivetimeshow.com. And I'm telling you, folks, these events will absolutely change your life. At the end of today's video, I'm going to add on a testimonial video so you folks can see a testimonial of someone that we've actually helped who's recently achieved massive success. So you can hear their story and how they did it. And, maybe you will watch the video and you say, wow, this person's younger than me. Oh, they're older than me. They're more of a woman than me. They're more of a man than me. Because we can always say, you can always say, I'm too old. I'm too young. I'm too big. My head is too big. I have a big head. It's 8 1/4. It's too big. I have a small head. But you have to decide that there's no such time as the perfect time. The time will never be just right. You have to act now. So if you're on the fence and you're going, I don't know, you got to do it. You got to take action. And I encourage you to go to thrivetimeshow.com to get those tickets. Thank you guys for allowing me to randomly grab you in the studio. But I wanted to go through this page because this is a page they don't ever teach in college.
Yep.
And you can throw that away, or it's your commemorative edition of that page, okay?
I'll keep
and
it
for anybody
forever.
out there who's listening, if you go to thrivetimeshow.com/millionaire, you can download this book. And the reason why I'm putting this out there for free is because, I don't know, I feel like people should probably learn how to become successful before the apocalypse. And if the apocalypse happens soon, we probably should get that information out previous to the apocalypse. So you can get that at thrivetimeshow.com/millionaire. Thank you guys so much for carving out time. And we'll end with a boom, because boom is required to have success. Big, overwhelming, optimistic momentum is required to have success. So now without any further ado, 3, 2, 1, boom. All right, so Thrive Nation, first off, that is James right there. And James is here. He is an attorney in New York. James, how long ago did I first hear about you, or you first hear about us? How long ago did we first meet?
Oh, we first met in February 2020, but I've been listening for about 1.5 years or 2 years before then. So probably sometime February 2018.
And how much have you grown your law practice since we first met?
Okay, yeah, I wasn't really sure where that question was going, but the law practice, well, just from June 2021 to June 2022, for comparing those 2 months, it's 79.4%.
Really?
Really?
So you've grown 79 point, how much? 79 point what?
79.4%.
79.4% growth. Okay. And what's your
June
website?
2021 to June 2022. If you give me a second, I could look up the numbers from when we first started until now, but I don't.
Yeah. Now, and what's your website for people that want to look you up, make sure you're a real person?
My website is thelawyerjames.com. Thelawyerjames.com.
Thelawyerjames.com.
Yeah, thelawyerjames.com.
Is that THE or is it DA lawyer James? Okay.
You know what? We should preserve that one also. Thelawyerjames.com.
And
I don't know. I've said that so many times, and people do dlawyerjames.com. I don't know how to do it.
No. How did you initially hear about it? How did that happen?
Through a friend of mine who was an accountant, and I had worked with a couple of different coaching companies before that. And they were great in terms of motivation, but the issue that I was missing was what to do when step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5.
Well, I thought what we could do right now is we'll just kind of walk people through what we've done to help your business. And that way people out there, if anybody's out there is listening, and people always say, you know, what do you do? What exactly, if I'm a business consulting client, what exactly do you do? Well, first, step 1, folks, I need talent. I need a male model like James DiCristofaro. So if you go to thelawyerjames.com, if you're not this beautiful, don't fill out the form. Don't waste your time or my time. We have to find a male model of the caliber of James DiCristofaro. Now, so what you do is, I'm going to walk you through the steps. Okay. So folks, we go to thrivetimeshow.com, and you can see I've been doing this since 2006. You know, I didn't realize when I built my first successful company, djconnection.com, that most people didn't have successful companies or companies that were stuck. I didn't know that. And so when I built djconnection.com, and then I went on to build epicphotos.com, these are both companies I don't own anymore. And then when I went on to build elephantintheroom.com, and just I could go on and on alphabetically listing companies. I just went through the D, E, E. But anyway, so I growing companies is sort of what I do. And that's my skill set. So in 2006, great people like James began reaching out to me because I was doing speaking events for companies like Farmers Insurance or Maytag or Valspar. And people at the conference would go, wow, you taught specifically what I need to do to grow my business. Can I hire you? And so what I do is I charge people $1,700 per month. So $1,700 per month. And I typically also get a small percentage of the growth. Now you don't have to be a partner to work with me. But James, how long have you and I worked together? Because our program is month to month, but how long have we worked together then?
Since February 2020. So that's 2 years and 4 or 5 months.
Okay. And on thrivetimeshow.com, if you click testimonials, I've got thousands of testimonials of great clients just like James who we've helped to grow their companies. But I want to hone in on the James business. Okay. So step 1, you got to, if you want to schedule a consultation, you just go up here, and then there's a button here. You look here and you say, I'm looking for business coaching, and you just get started right here and you schedule a consultation. That's how it works. You just business coaching, you click on get started. A lot of confusion there. Business coaching, click right here, get started. That's how you do it. Okay. And then we'll schedule a consultation. The consultation is always free, and it's always with me. And I only work with 160 clients because I want to make sure you achieve financial freedom and time freedom. And it's hard to do that if my team of can't focus on our clients. So we only have 160 clients I work with. So step 1 is we want to improve the brand. I want to improve the brand. Now the brand would be like your website, your business cards, your print pieces, anything that the clients see, anything that potential clients would see. James, have we done work on your website? Tell people out there, what kind of work has my team done for you?
Everything, complete revamping, everything that you see on that, your team did, from the simplicity of thelawyerjames.com, which is in the top left there. You see it, the Lawyer James words in the circle. Love that. They also, put that little play button. They did everything with the website, but things of note, we got client video testimonials up there. We have our About Us video, which you just pulled up. We've also got in the news. If you scroll down a little bit, you can see the media. Those are video testimonials. We got video testimonials. We've got the Google, what do you call them? The Google reviews. I've got over 350 5-star Google reviews. And
now, so step 1, though, is we go in there and we improve the branding. That's step 1, and we get that. Now, and again, we need to optimize your Google map. Okay, we need to optimize your Google map. We need to optimize the social media, and this is all part of the all part of, because again, if you have people that come to your website and they, aren't wowed, or if they're unimpressed, then they don't fill out the form. Now step 2 is we have to do marketing. Now, James, we create a 3-legged marketing stool. We create a 3-legged marketing stool. Now, where are you based, James?
I'm in Manhattan, New York City.
For anybody out there that doesn't know, are there any people in Manhattan that are not attorneys?
Yes, there are.
I mean, how competitive is the attorney market in New York, honestly?
It is very, very competitive. Just, you do a Google search for yourself and you'll find pages and pages and pages of attorneys.
Okay. And so we go in there and we do the search engine optimization. We build a social media marketing campaign. In your case, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe we're doing search engine optimization. You have, the ongoing social media, online reputation management, and then you have mailers that you do. Is that correct?
That's right. Yeah.
And I don't want to get into all the nitty gritty of all that. We'll help you with that. But do you ever get calls now from the internet? Does that happen?
So, I do a weekly tracking sheet, and I used to send out about 100 mailers a week. Now I send out about 2,000 per week. And my traction rate from the mailers is between, I would say, 2 and 10 leads per week. And from the internet search engine optimization stuff that you've been doing for us, double, triple, quadruple, or if not more than that. So I get between, I would say, 5 and 30 per the online leads.
Now, obviously, you're an attorney, so you're incredible with math. But I mean, it would seem as though for people that maybe aren't quite as incredible with math, it would seem as though that's a good thing.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So again, step 1, we improve the branding. Step 2, we create a 3-legged marketing stool. Step 3, we want to create a turnkey sales process. And this would be like the sales scripts. What do you say on the phone? This would be, we need to create sales scripts. We need to create, emails, like email autoresponders. We need to create the one sheet. It's like your value proposition. We need to create the pricing model. I mean, it's just, a lot that goes into that. And then after that, we want to go ahead and create a tracking sheet, because you have to measure what you treasure. Now, measuring the results, does that help you on a daily basis? Just kind of know where you're at. Do you like that? Does it irritate you? What are your thoughts on the tracking sheet?
It does irritate me, but I do like it because I need the accountability for my weekly call with Andrew. So while it's I would guess it's a labor of love, but I love to see the numbers at the end of the day, because then it shows me where I need to focus, where I need to put some energy, what we're doing right, what we need to tweak.
And then next we have to do is we have to focus on hiring, inspiring, training, and retaining top talent. A lot of people say, I can't find good employees. And we have created a system for that. We implement this thing called the group interview. There's a lot. You got to create the job posts that get people to fill out, the form. You got to create a group interview. It's an interview process. We have to create, there's a lot. We create a shadow process. But at the end of the day, James, how has the group interview impacted your ability to find good people or find people?
Well, when I do it, it's great. It should be done weekly. I first started doing them out of your office there in Oklahoma, and I absolutely loved it. So that's the next thing that I'm very excited to do here in New York as we grow, because as you know, we had to get the systems in place to manage the growth. And we finally got that. And I love it. I loved conducting the group interview process. And you can see immediately who the good fit is, who the people are, what they think like. They ask you questions the whole time, and then who shows up late. And that's also an important thing to know as well.
And then the next thing we want to do is we want to create an accounting process, a system to measure what you treasure. And again, some clients really like us to go deep into their financials and really get in there. Some clients don't like us to get as close into their numbers. Everyone's got their own flow. But James, how has that helped you, just having somebody that's available to talk about the numbers, look at the math, figure out where money's going? How has that impacted you?
That very short answer is that it's impacted tremendously. And the reasons how, I can get a little bit deeper into this, is after reading several books on your book list and talking with Andrew about them, and it for every dollar that comes in, you see where it goes and how it's spent. So
Right.
if you're wondering why at the end of the month or the week or the day, you don't have any money left in your bank account to do payroll, to take your significant other out to dinner, or to spend any money at all to improve the business, then it's very telling once you look at that, once you look at your numbers.
Now, again, we've worked with you for a long time, and so you've attended the workshops, you've benefited from the podcast, the one-on-one consultations. How would you describe the workshop? If there's anybody out there, I'm going to put a link here. If people are thinking about coming to the workshop, how would you describe the workshop experience?
It's like being fed in the mouth with a fire hose about all the information that you need to know to run a business. It's like your 500. I don't know what, I forget the name of the checklist, but you have one if you want to sell your business. Yeah. And that thing is just, I read the first 10 or 20 items of it. I started getting a headache, but in a good way, because it just shows you how much you need, how much you don't know, what you need to do to be successful. And it's a proven, if you want the proven formula for success, you attend one of these workshops. But it's not just one of these things where you go and attend and you get credit for attending and all of a sudden, life is going to be easier. That's the first part of it. The second part of it is, there's a system that you need to implement. And that's where it's simple, but it's not easy.
Now, our program is to work with people that are sufficiently motivated. I am not a motivational program. And in fact, I've had clients who've told me, they said, Clay, what you've taught me is demotivational. It actually, knowing what I need to do is actually not motivational at all, but the success feels great. The money's good. I love the money. I love the growth. I love the success. But I guess I wanted a lot of clients will tell me they thought that the answers I would give them would perhaps be more motivational, but I break it down into a step-by-step system. How would you explain implementing the step-by-step system as a client for anybody out there that's, maybe considering scheduling a consultation?
Well, I have a perfect example. I remember I came into the office there on a Saturday and I had lost a couple of sales that I should have gotten. And you said, come on in here. And you diagrammed out the sales process for me. And I said, this is ridiculous. I'm not going to do it. I said, I'm not going to, but I did, because I know that, it would have made sense for me to do it. And I did do it, and it just worked wonders. So the reason why I say that, and I say it that way, is because even though it might not sound intuitively correct, it's a proven path. Clay knows what he's doing. If you just do what he says in the time frame that he says to do it, you will get results.
Now, 96% of businesses, according to Inc. magazine, fail within their first 10 years. And I'm going to put a link here. And you've seen people, James, file bankruptcy as an attorney. I mean, you've seen this, and I'm not attacking anybody out there that's gone into bankruptcy, but most businesses fail by default. I don't think people maybe think about that a lot. And the way I explain what I do for people is, imagine that we had a minefield. Okay. So I'm going to pull up it's like, imagine that you were running down a field. Okay. This is the field. You click here, you look at you're in a field. Okay. And you go, and imagine I've already gone through the field. I've already made my way through here and here and I made it through the end and I'm here. Woo. And there's mines on the way, but I know where the mines are and the mines aren't. It might make sense to follow the guy that knows how to make it mines. Yeah, not mimes. Not mimes. Not a lot of miming. These would be explosive devices. So, but if there's somebody who had just made it through the minefield of life and had success, and you could just follow them down the path and not blow up, that would be great. Another way to look at this would be like, if you look at like a mountain path, if you're somebody out there and you're like, gosh, I want to get to the top of the mountain, but I don't want to fall off and die. And I want to get there before nightfall. If you have an experienced guide who's gone down the path, you can have them lead you down the path and it just gets done. It makes sense. Nobody dies in the process. And I think a lot of people in business, they fail because they just don't know how to scale their business. They don't know the proven processes. They don't know the systems. Now, once we get the accounting in place, the marketing and the sales and tracking, now we have to create systems for everything. And by doing that, that's what creates time freedom. That would be checklists. That would be workflows. That would be processes. This would be documents. These are all the things you need. And if you are out there today and you say, I want to grow my business now. Woo! Okay, that's great. I'm glad you're excited. What you want to do is you want to go to right here, thrivetimeshow.com. You can do /EO Fire. You can schedule a one-on-one consultation, or you can come out to one of our workshops. And our workshops are the highest rated small business workshops on the planet. James, for anybody out there that's thinking about filling out the form, thinking about needing help to grow their business, what would you say to them, sir?
Do it.
Oh, wow. Wow. Now, not everybody can hide behind their physical beauty in the way that James can. So if you're out there today and you're like me, where you don't have the beauty thing working for you like James, I mean, James could be an actor. I mean, a lot of people, I'm sure, do business with James just because he's a beautiful man. But for anybody out there who's a mere mortal like myself, I encourage you to fill out the form. We work with a lot of great and normal people just like James. And James, I'll give you the final word. Anybody out there that's thinking about working with us, what would you say?
Read whatever Clay tells you to read. Read whatever Clay's team tells you to read. And I've got 3 books that I think should have been lumped into one. They're all by Robert Kiyosaki. They're great books. One of them is Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Yeah.
The next one is Increase Your Financial IQ. And the one after that is The Cash Flow Quadrant. They're amazing books. The guy was homeless, living out of his car, building a new business, built it. At one point, a few years later, he purchased $85 million worth of real estate. And he's just a great inspiration, I think, for everybody, and talks about some of the keys that you need.
And again, that's Cash Flow Quadrant. And I'll put a link there to it.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Increase Your Financial IQ, and Cash Flow Quadrant. All 3 of those books by Robert Kiyosaki. Hey,
listen here. You are bringing these in fast. You give me just a second. So this is okay. So I got the link to the Cash Flow Quadrant, and you said Financial IQ is the next book.
So there's the first one was Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and then the one after that was Increase Your Financial IQ. Increase
your financial IQ. Increase your financial IQ. I see it. Ooh. Rich Dad's. Okay, I see it. Putting a link to it right now. Feeling the flow. Working it. Linking it. Putting the link. Oh, got it right there. And again, folks, if you're out there, you're saying, I don't know where to start. I mean, the thing is, the mind is what the mind is fed. So if you are out there putting books in your mind, and there's a lot of stuff out there. I mean, there's Tai Lopez, and there's all this motivational stuff that, it feels good. It's exciting, but do you leave actually knowing what to do? I don't know. I just know our program, it's month to month.
Definitely
what I do. What's that?
You're definitely excited.
That's right.
You don't know what
the link here. This is a Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Okay. And then, James, for anybody out there that's looking for an attorney in New York, if they want to get a hold of you, do you work with clients all over the country, or just New York, or how does that process look there?
All over the country. It just depends on what the case is about. But yeah, the best thing to do is just to give a call, 212-500-1891, 212-500-1891, 212-500-1891. And, we have folks standing by that'll answer your phone at any time, phone call, and you can just schedule a 10-minute call with me.
And James, I guess my final question would be here. What kind of cases do you want to work with, and what kind of cases do you not want to work with, just so we don't, waste your time or somebody else's time?
Yeah, so it's primarily business litigation and real estate. Business litigation is, for instance, a breach of contract case, something like that, or a case where an investor invests cash and has trouble recovering it, or real estate transactions in New York, commercial and residential, and commercial disputes, when 2 businesses fight each other.
I think a lot of people, James, are going to struggle with the spelling of your last name. Could you walk us through the spelling of your last name?
Sure. It's DeCristofaro is the way you say it. The spelling is DE capital CRISTO F like Frank ARO, DeCristofaro.
And James, you've worked with our team for a long time. I mean, you met our photographers and our videographers and our web team. How would you describe the web photography, video, all the stuff we include with the consulting?
I've got one word for it, and it's accommodating. There are more words: professional, accommodating, skilled.
James, I tell you what, you are looking like you smell terrific, and I appreciate you being here with me. And I will talk to you soon. All right.
All right, Clay. Thanks very much.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Boom.
Oh.
All right, Thrive Nation, check it out. We have our business workshop. Our 2-day interactive business workshop is taking place here on the second week of November. It's the second Thursday and Friday in November. I'll pull up the screen so you can see it here. And we have just under 35 tickets remaining for this. Now, I know you know me from the Reawaken America tour, and that's what we're doing. But I do business workshops, and I've been doing them for over 10 years. And I do them every 2 months. They're very interactive, and we have over 2,000 client success stories that you can see right there if you go to thrivetimeshow.com. This 2-day interactive business workshop is hosted at my office in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's a 2-day interactive how to grow your business workshop where I teach you everything you need to know to start and grow a successful company. I have built several multi-million-dollar companies, and I'm going to teach you how to do it. So if you want to know how to do the marketing, the branding, your accounting, your sales, your workflow, search engine optimization, online ads, everything you need to know, we're going to include that for you. And the way I do the tickets is you can pay $250 for a ticket or whatever price you want to pay. Why? Because I grew up poor and I know what that's like to have zero income, but to have big dreams. And having big dreams with no income, I get it. So sometimes you need a help, maybe hand up, not a handout. We're here to give you that hand up. And so at the Thrivetime Show workshop, let me tell you what you get here. You get practical, step-by-step business training. It's a hands-on business workshop. It starts at 7 a.m. and it goes until 3 p.m. From 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. each day. It's very interactive. It's a 2-day workshop. We're going to teach you how to create businesses, how to launch businesses, how to scale businesses. We're going to teach you the step-by-step systems you need to implement to grow a successful company. We're going to teach you how to everything you need to know, but there's no upsells in the back of the room. And why do I do it? I do it because you deserve it. B, I'm very good at it. And my partner, Dr. Robert Zoellner, and I, between he and I, we've built a lot of successful companies. I've built Oklahoma's largest men's grooming business, independent, privately owned men's grooming business called Elephant in the Room, which that website is eitrlounge.com. My partner, Dr. Robert Zoellner, has built drzoellner.com, the largest independent private optometry clinic. He's built Z66AA.com, Oklahoma's largest auto auction. We've coached up and built up home building businesses, home flipping businesses, gold and silver companies. And let me just show you. If you go to thrivetimeshow.com and you click on the testimonials button, you're going to see over 2,000 testimonials. Look at this. The attorney James from New York, we helped him grow his business by 79.4% last year. The Flyover Conservatives have grown their podcast by 16,000%, which is a large percentage. The Platinum Pest, it's a pest control company. They've grown 411%. Shaw Homes has grown from 16 million to over 160 million in sales. Someone says, you don't have to sell me. I get it. No. I'm going to give you more. These are just testimonials from the past few months. We've got Kirsten White, a home decorator. She's grown a home design and interior design business. She's grown her business dramatically. You've got here Placid Ojoku. He's a fitness, a personal trainer instructor. He's grown his business dramatically. You got Dan Knapp. It's an affordable insulation company. He's grown it dramatically. Tyler Hallblade, let me tell you his story. He went from a startup to $10 million plus in sales. His company's primotrailers.com. Barbiecookies.com, growing the business dramatically. Joe Burby with Back to Basics Builders. And someone says, no, I don't need any more. No, you need more. We have over 2,000 testimonials. So you can get those tickets by going to thrivetimeshow.com. It's thrivetimeshow.com. And you click on the conferences button. And once you click that button right there, boom, you can see where you can request tickets. And these events take place in Tulsa, Oklahoma at my home office. So again, get those tickets at thrivetimeshow.com. My name's Clay Clark. After I finish connecting with you, speaking with you, I'm going to share with you a brief little commercial so you can see more about the interactive 2-day Thrivetime Show workshops. Again, we have just under 40 tickets remaining for that. It's going to be Tulsa, Oklahoma, the second week in November. Someone says, I'm looking for a specific date. I get it. Let me show you real quick here. The actual date is going to be, okay, here we go. November 10th and 11th. If you can't make that one, we have February 2nd and 3rd, where my very good friend, John Lee Dumas, the host of one of the largest podcasts in the world, he'll be attending this event as well. It's the EO Fire podcast. That's John Lee Dumas, my very good friend, John Lee Dumas. I've been on his show, I think 9 times. This guy, John Lee Dumas, let me tell you, he has a podcast, and on the top right of his website, he actually tracks how much profit he's made for the month. This month alone, this man has generated $182,000 of income this month with his podcast, and he'll be speaking at the in-person Thrivetime Show workshop we have coming up in February. And then November 10th and 11th, we have the 2-day interactive workshop. And we have the way the workshop works is we kick off at 7 a.m. And then at 7:40, we take our first break, and then we open it up for questions. And then we do another session at 8, and then we open it up for questions. And then 9 and more questions. So you're getting over 15 hours of interactive training. We serve lunch both days, and you get to come to my office right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And I would say a little over 90% of the attendees are not from Tulsa, Oklahoma. You're going to have a blasty blast. My name's Clay Clark. I'm fired up to meet you. Get those tickets right now at thrivetimeshow.com, thrivetimeshow.com. I know it costs money to get to these events, but you can name your price. We want to make it affordable for you. You can get those tickets at thrivetimeshow.com.
The Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business workshops are the highest and most reviewed business workshops on the planet.
You can learn the proven 13-point business systems that Dr. Zoellner and I have used over and over to start and grow successful companies. I mean, we get into the specific steps on what you need to do to optimize your website. We're going to teach you how to fix your conversion rate. We're going to teach you how to do a social media marketing campaign that works. How do you raise capital? How do you get a small business loan? We teach you everything you need to know here during a 2-day, 15-hour workshop. It's all here for you. You work every day in your business, but for 2 days you can escape and work on your business and build these proven systems so now you can have a successful company that will produce both the time freedom and the financial freedom that you deserve. You're going to leave energized, motivated, but you're also going to leave empowered. The reason why I've built these workshops is because as an entrepreneur, I always wish that I had this. And because there wasn't anything like this, I would go to these motivational seminars, no money down, real estate, Ponzi scheme, get motivated seminars, and they would never teach me anything. It was like you went there and you paid for the big chocolate Easter bunny, but inside of it, it was a hollow nothingness. And I wanted the knowledge, and they're like, oh, but we'll teach you the knowledge after our next workshop. And the great thing is we have nothing to upsell. At every workshop, we teach you what you need to know. There's no one in the back of the room trying to sell you some next big get-rich-quick, walk-on-hot coals product. It's literally, we teach you the brass tacks, the specific stuff that you need to know to learn how to start and grow a business. And I encourage you to not believe what I'm saying, and I want you to Google the Z66 auto auction. I want you to Google elephant in the room. Look at Robert Zoellner and Associates. Look them up and say, are they successful because they're geniuses, or are they successful because they have a proven system? When you do that research, you will discover that the same systems that we use in our own business can be used in your business. Come to Tulsa, book a ticket, and I guarantee you it's going to be the best business workshop ever, and we'll even give you your money back if you don't love it. We've built this facility for you, and we're excited to see you.